Samuel? Or maybe it's Sam. I think you're there. I don't know if you can hear us. I hope you can. We may have other people joining. We had 7 people register for today's panel discussion, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat, and we will definitely get back to that question after we do kind of our panel. So welcome to ASM's Academic Support and Mentoring's student panel discussion. And I'm Julie Collins. I'm the director for the department and have the privilege of working with some other wonderful professionals who lead various initiatives in our department. And it is also my distinct pleasure to work with so many students indirectly in many cases who are represented here this afternoon. So we will allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to come back around and have them talk about the service that they work for. So Helena, let's go ahead and start with you with introductions.
Hi, my name is Helena. I'm a senior here at UMKC, and I'm a biology major. And the service I lead for is SI, particularly in the chemistry department, and I'm also a peer mentor on the SI team.
All right, thank you. Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm a math and physics major. This is my last year at UMKC. I am an SI leader for physics and a peer mentor as well. And I also am a math and physics tutor.
All right, thank you. Crit.
Hi everyone, my name is Crit. I'm currently a senior majoring in English and chemistry with a minor in biology, and I currently work with the writing studio.
All right, thank you. And Angie.
Hi, I'm Angie. I am a sophomore. My major is criminal justice, and I work for Rup Seminars. Well, I lead it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now we're just going to kind of go back around in that same order and have each of our student leaders talk to you about what that service is and what it entails, and a little bit about that. So we'll have some information. So Helena, if you'll start us off with supplemental instruction, or SI. That's sometimes new to people.
Yeah, so supplemental instruction is non-remedial, peer-led student group learning. And it's regularly scheduled, so it's a couple times every week at the same time, and really it's just a place to go and make new friends, and then also work on the course material, like the most difficult course material, in a sort of guided way.
Yeah. Grace, anything, you're also an SI leader, anything you'd want to add about SI before you talk to us about tutoring?
I think Helena did a really good job. But yeah, the classes that offer SI are usually classes with high rates of D's, F's, or withdrawals. So that's how they're chosen.
Yeah, definitely. We put SI in the most challenging courses, and I might just mention, it's not on the slide behind me, but also UMKC is the home for the International Center for Supplemental Instruction, and that is because UMKC actually is where this method was developed. And so some of our professional team, as well as some of our students from time to time, get a chance to train, but our professional team trains and provides resources to institutions around the country, and actually has a worldwide network around supplemental instruction. So it sounds kind of simple, like, oh, it's group study that's led by someone, but it actually has a lot of very complex techniques that our peer leader or SI leaders learn how to do. So thanks. Grace, do you want to talk a little bit about UMKC Tutoring?
Yeah, so UMKC Tutoring is more individually focused than SI. So students can either make an appointment or there's drop-in hours, and you can sign up for a specific class, and then we talk through concepts with students, and can help them out on problems they're having trouble with, or concepts related to those problems, and then ask questions and stuff. So it's more individually focused than SI.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about too, SI is scheduled and planned, and I think you all said that, but just to emphasize that, tutoring happens during certain hours, and so students can either make appointments, and that's probably always recommended, right, that you make an appointment so you get the tutor that you're seeking in your subject, and you know that they're available during a specific time. But also we have drop-in. It's not walk-in because we're not in person right now, but drop-in hours as well, where someone can come in with a challenge or just to talk through concepts. And So tutoring is good for that as well. Thank you, Grace. Crit, tell us about the writing studio and what work you do there.
Yeah, so the Writing Studio is basically an academic service for both undergrad and graduate students, and we help with writers with all parts of the writing process. So if you have a class assignment or like a personal project, whether that's like a personal statement or a cover letter, we help with all aspects of writing. We don't edit papers, so that's like a common misconception. We just want to help students improve their writing. So we work with what they already have and help to make that better. And we offer both drop-in sessions and email sessions. So even if, like, let's say we're back in person next semester and you can't make it on campus, we have email sessions. So there's like multiple ways to set up an appointment.
Oh, thank you so much. And Angie, tell us a little bit about Roo Up Seminars. Roo Up Seminars are fairly new on our campus.
Yeah, so Rup Seminars are brief informational videos on topics relevant for student success, such as creating a study plan, note-taking, a success in an online class, because everything is virtual right now. So some classes may not be on campus. So yeah, we basically just help students, just guide them in little videos, little clips, showing like how to take notes, how to take good notes, how to study, and things like that, which is accessible for everyone. It's on the Rup Seminar Canvas page. It's on Canvas, so anyone can just join and then watch the videos that we create for them.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we've been developing that video library on Canvas for the last couple of years, so we're getting more and more content all the time. And you'll see Angie as maybe featured in some of those as she helps create those, and is not an actress. That's not true. You're not an actress, but you're presenting some information on some of those videos. And there are also some great resources. So there's an opportunity to go into that Canvas site and just kind of poke around and see what kinds of resources a student can find that could help them out at really kind of that no obligation. You could be home at midnight and poke around on the Canvas site and see what you can see. I will pause and mention, I don't have it on a slide behind me, but I do have Academic Supported Mentoring, which is our departmental name. If you would go to www.umkc.edu/ASM, so that's our acronym for Academic Supported Mentoring, you can find information on all of these services. So that would be a great thing to do after this session, is to go check things out. For example, you could go click and get enrolled in Rup Seminars so that you could see that information. So that's something that you can do. Okay. So let's talk a little bit. Oh, thanks, Grit, for putting that in the chat. Thanks so much. Let's talk a little bit about just some general good habits for students and some of the challenges that you all might have faced as students. Just describe a challenging course that you've had, and this is open to anybody. I'll just let you jump in. What strategies for a challenging course did you use that assisted you? Now, we know that you probably used ASM services, so you feel free to plug those. But if there are other tips that you could give to someone, what are some study tips and some ways to get through a challenging course that you have learned?
Okay, I will go. One of the things that I consistently do for my most difficult courses is to rewrite my notes in my own words, because then you really test if you actually understand it yourself. And then to use that and make a Quizlet where you can ask yourself questions about the material, and then you can review that at a later date.
It's a great tip. What are some other tips?
Something I like to do for my math and physics classes is to try to consider what kind of questions the professor will write. So like what they think is most important and what they will emphasize on the test, and then study that material, but also study the rest of it, but focus on that stuff. And then also asking students who have taken the course previously, who have done well in it, what they did to study has helped me a lot. And I also attended SI sessions when I was in Physics 240 and 250, and those were really helpful.
Yeah, great. And I recognize some of these tips actually do happen in SI. So that's just another plug for SI. And I'm going to guess tutors also share some of those tips and tricks as well when you're talking with students about things that help with studying that class. Crit, anything that you could add in terms of a study tip?
Yeah, I mean, I was also going to mention SI because for biochem, I knew that class was going to be really hard, and I started to go to SI like from the first week of classes, and it's really helped with like exams because it's helping me retain the information more. And I feel like during those SI sessions, I'm still going back to like lecture slides and looking at it, so I'm getting more familiar with the material, which is really important regardless. But I think SI is a good tool to use, and I also like block out like SI sessions in my schedule so that I'm like committed to going to those.
Love that, because the sessions are available in advance. So that's a great tip to just get those scheduled in your calendar and show up. So yeah, we know SI works. We have data that says that. Angie, you get to bring us home on this topic. What, maybe think about a challenging course you've had and some of the things that have really helped you be successful.
So for me, I have a lot of intensive reading. It's like a lot for each class actually. So what I like to do, I read it and I break it down. All the information that I'm reading and just break it down into smaller chunks, and then highlight whatever I think is important from that book that's gonna be on a test or on a quiz. I just basically I just break it down into things that kind of make sense to me, connecting it to some other things that I think connect really well with each other. And yeah, just breaking it down.
Yeah, break down that big chunk of reading. A lot of times, you know, the reading assignment can feel very overwhelming. So that's really wise to put that into smaller chunks that are more manageable. And then also really love what you said about making connections. So stopping, pausing, connecting what you've just read to something else that you already know about, or a concept that you've recently learned, so that it really sticks. So those are great tips. Thanks for sharing those. Okay, now, not that you have to have any regrets, panelists, but just kind of looking back, because you are all, you know, a little ways into your college career, maybe thinking about your freshman year or those early classes. What do you wish you would have done, or what could you have done maybe besides what you've just mentioned that are good tips? Maybe I asked this in the wrong order, but what are some things that you would now suggest that somebody else do in terms of managing the work, studying? Just what do you wish you would have known? Elena, we're in a pattern. I'm going to come back to you and see if there's something that you have in mind.
Okay. Well, specifically for organic chemistry, I wish that I had learned earlier in the course how much attending SI was going to help me, because I could like apply my knowledge and not so much just review my notes. And I also wish that I had, during my freshman year, I had realized that studying in a group was going to be way more fun and way more effective than just trying to study by myself.
So not going it alone, whether that's getting involved in SI, which we of course recommend, but also studying in groups and not just being by yourself and pouring over things on your own. That makes a lot of sense. Grace, do you have something in hindsight that you wish you would have known?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't think that tutoring would be helpful, and so I didn't go, and now I kind of regret that. I probably should have gone that, but I did go to SI. And then also just figuring out like the way you take notes is not going to be the same for each class, and the way you study is not going to be the same for each class, and it doesn't have to be like uniform through all of your notes. Don't have to be uniform. It's there to help you, not to look pretty.
Absolutely. Love it. Make your notes your own, whatever works for you. That makes a lot of sense. Interesting. I'll just tag into that point about you wish you'd gone to tutoring because now you see that it would have helped. There is a huge misconception sometimes with academic support services, whether it's tutoring or writing studio, any of our services, where sometimes students think, well, I'm doing okay. I'm not failing, so I'm not going to go to this academic support. And the reality is that no matter where you are and whether you're going to make an A, you know, because you're going to work really hard, or whether you're doing just fine, seeking that support is kind of like being pretty efficient. It's utilizing the knowledge that other people have and having us. I like to think of us as a partner. So your SI leader partners with you by creating those sessions and gets you interactive with other students. Your tutor is actually a one-to-one partner with you. Your writing consultant is one partner with you to really just help you through. And even if it's just you processing content out loud with a tutor or with a writing consultant, it's still better for your learning. So why go it alone, to Helena's point, if you can have support. Great. Crit, I hope I didn't take anything you were going to say away from you, because I just had that moment. But
No, you're good.
yeah, what do you say in hindsight that you wish you would have known?
I think like the effectiveness of having your schedule planned out, like not just for the week, but kind of having an overall view maybe for the semester, because I started using Google Calendars like a semester ago, and it's been really helpful. I used this like a planner before then, but I wasn't really able to see what I had for like the next month. And I could like see, like now I can see far off in advance, like the tests I have in like October or November, and plan ahead to study for those instead of like studying a week or two before.
Yeah, really getting organized. And whether some people like a paper planner, they'd rather have their calendar on paper, but Google or other electronic calendars are also great, and blocking out that time to make sure you have time to study. Okay, Angie, it gets harder. You have the hardest, because we may have taken some ideas from you, but anything that you can think of?
Not that I wish I would have known. It's more like wish I would have done more is managing my time better, because once COVID happened, my classes went to online, so I kind of fell behind because I thought like, oh, this assignment just due this Friday. I have all week to do whatever I want. When really I should have just been like, okay, let's knock it out earlier before worrying about it and then falling behind and not remembering to do it. So I guess it's just like managing my time and not slacking. Have one
Yeah, don't be a
due.
slacker. Yeah, but sometimes it looks like, you have that free space in your calendar, especially somebody who has, in high school, maybe felt like they had tons of time to get everything done. And it looks like, wow, there's all this free time in my calendar. I'm not going to class, but those are the times to block in using Crit's point, block in the time to study and break that material into chunks, go to SI, all the things that you all have already mentioned, but planning well. Angie, that's a great tip. Thank you so much for bringing that forward. So we've talked a lot about which is our point, was to talk about our services and academic support and mentoring, and still okay to mention those, but also want to ask this panel, what are some other resources on campus that you've learned about that you would suggest that a student really explore that would really help them with their studies and or with just being a college student? It might be something outside of academics. So Helena, I'm coming to you again.
Okay.
Resources.
Well, I mean, what I think of right away for this is probably student health and wellness. Because, I mean, I'm out of state, so my insurance doesn't work super great here. And student health and wellness has really been a lifesaver, and it's easy. All the nurse practitioners are super cool and super smart, so it's a really great place to go when you need help.
Yeah, awesome. Check that out. Yeah, absolutely. They have many of the services. They can't do everything, but certainly some of the routine things and colds and sore throats and those kinds of things, they're absolutely the place to go. And I think they do prescription. Okay, I should stop talking out of area.
They do prescription.
Okay, they do. Okay, I thought I'd heard the spiel enough to know, but I want to make sure.
No, they do so much. You can see it all on their website.
Yeah, great resource. Thank you. Grace, what other resources have you found to be helpful on campus?
Yeah, I don't know if these count, but the first things that came to mind were professor office hours. They're waiting for you to show up to those, so you might as well take advantage of them. And then also just like getting involved in clubs and stuff. It's really, I found that's one of the best ways to like make friends within your major and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So I love what you said about the professors. They put those office hours in the syllabus and announce those. They have to be like, it's legally binding. They have to be, not legally, but they are in their office waiting, or they're on the other end of Zoom waiting for people to come see them. And they know all about the content. So like make them work, ask the question, or just even, I know that so many professors feel isolated sometimes that they don't get to know their students like they want to. So Make yourself known to your professor by showing up at office hours and just introducing yourself, and, you know, maybe slip in a few content questions that you might have. That would be good as well. Love it. And definitely get involved. That is a great way. I know this is about academic success, but a well-rounded student is also involved in more than just studying. You're just not one-dimensional person that just studies. You have to have other things as well in your life. So great tip. It gets harder. Crit, I don't know what's still on the table. Any other resources that you have?
I was actually going to say the counseling center, because that's been really helpful, and we get like 8 free sessions every academic term. So I definitely recommend the counseling center. And like the first session is like an initial like consultation, so it doesn't even count within your 8 sessions. I've used it personally, and I think it really helps, because like college can be hard, whether like you moved away from your family or like academics. So I definitely recommend checking out the counseling center.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Physical health and also mental and emotional health are so important. So thank you for bringing that up. Angie, any other resources that you have found to be helpful to you in your success?
I must say the MSA Office, they kind of helped me connect with other students within my culture, and they're welcome to everybody, but they really make you feel like you're at home. So they're a cool office to go to just to relax or just to talk to someone. So, yeah.
And MSA is Multicultural Student Affairs. So, and I
yeah.
love that you said helped you connect to your culture, but also it's open to everyone. So you don't have to have a specific identity that you're going in with. They are open for all students to form community. So Multicultural Student Affairs, check it out. You're right. They have a really cool space too. I like their space.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have a lot of beanbag chairs and fun stuff like that over there?
Yeah, it's a little chill spot.
Yeah, great. Those are great resources. Anything else that comes to any of our panelists' minds based on what maybe other people said? Well, we've covered a lot, but we do have time left. So for Samuel, the Roche family, if you have any questions or things that you want to ask the panelists, if you wanted to either unmute and talk with us, that's great. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can throw things into chat, and if we'll pause for a minute, and if you do not have any questions, we will end our panel, but we want to leave time for questions if you have any. Have no questions. Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad you were here. Thanks for being here. And we did record this, so this will be available for students in the future and their families. Thanks to our panelists. You did a great job. I always learn a lot by listening to you as well. So thanks to everyone, and have a great night.
Bye.